And Renata, good morning, Malele, Talafa, Ari, to everybody here today. And before I begin, can I be allowed to just re-echo the remarks of the Madam MC and acknowledge the landowners who led me together here today. Aturang sa katiga Nawatulew, sana momon Pinandi, at the guys that are going to may Sokotugan and the Soso and Singapore, and then my Vitan Latrativo. And can Maturity Pacifica, and can Madrid Love, and can Venetek. To Mr. Chairman Paul Khan and Carl Ashby, and also to Mr. Michael Nadola, distinguished delegates, and I see the brains trust of the Pacific in this room today. Esteemed colleagues, valued partners, Bulwinaka once again, namaste and a very warm welcome to you this morning. It is, of course, my great honor to open this gathering of leaders from 23 funds across 13 Pacific countries, and I've been told that New Zealand is included in these countries, together with our supporting organizations and multilateral partners. Your presence here reflects the collective strength of our region and our shared commitment to a prosperous Pacific future. I acknowledge the Pacific Islands Investment Forum, BSP Life, and the United Nations Joint SDG Fund, and all our development partners whose support has made this possible. This conference is more than just a meeting of funds, obviously. It is a platform that's built on three foundations: collaboration, education, and co-investing. Each of these, in its own way, serves a single purpose: the strengthening of the financial security of our Pacific people. The strength of our region has always been in partnership. As we say in Fiji, Uvale, or family. We have another saying in Fiji, or another tradition, which is called Solo Solobaki, which is where we share in the benefits of our labor. No single fund, no single nation can meet the scale of the challenge before us alone. Climate change, geopolitical tensions, and global economic volatility are exposing the vulnerabilities of developing nations, including us here in the Pacific. Struggle together is no longer simply desirable or a theory. It is now absolutely necessary. This forum brings our funds into the same room, speaking the same language of opportunity, so that by sharing talents, pooling resources, and identifying opportunities together, we achieve a scale that no single fund could reach on its own. Ladies and gentlemen, the platform for collaboration is only as strong as the knowledge that underpins it. The conference is also a place of learning, where fund managers, trustees, practitioners exchange expertise on investment strategy, risk management, and governance, and build technical skill and institutional capability our funds need to manage member savings responsibly and to grow. Because financial security of our people is not built on capital alone, it is built on judgment, discipline, and expertise of those entrusted to invest on their behalf. Every skill sharpened in this room this week is a skill that will serve Pacific workers' retirement for decades to come. And finally, co-investing. And from collaboration education flows the third pillar, which is co-investing. And I thought I'd go off script here and just talk a bit about some of the things that I certainly have been seeing in the region. The opportunities to co-invest, in my mind, continuing to grow. And I'll take you back to the World Trade Organization meeting, MC13 in Abu Dhabi. I had a conversation with the Trade Minister of the United Arab Emirates and told him, what if we started thinking about a tuna industry owned by the Pacific? Food, boats and all, including manufacturing. So we value add in the Pacific and then we sell it. He has given me some verbal assurance that they are interested. It's still a work in progress. But just imagine that. With the super funds and some of the foreign capital, we can seriously look at owning our own tuna industry. That is just one example of the scale we're looking at. PNG is looking at more factories, Solomon is looking at more factories, Fiji would probably like another factory, Kiribati, I think, would like another factory. So these are the types of opportunities that all of a sudden become real opportunities in our region. Hotels, tourism. This is the low-hanging fruit of the Pacific. This hotel, and Michael and I can attest to this. We joined Fiji Airways at a time when Fiji was wondering how to meet the next wave of tourism growth in the country. One of the things we accepted at the time was, this was talking about the late 90s. And the one thing we accepted or realized at the time was, there was really no branded hotels in Fiji. We had the Sheraton here, that was already here, and the Hyatt on the Coral Coast, but really nothing beyond that. So our chairman at the time, who was quite visionary, decided to acquire this property. And he said, we'll put another brand here, and that will attract all our investors to this place. We didn't have the marina at the time. We didn't have the major residentials we have now. And so that was done. And we finally ended up with a core, a Sofitel. And we take another step from now. Our core is about to become a major Sofitel. In Fiji is about to have a major footprint in this country. They will grow from one property, or maybe 3 properties, I think, already in the country, to about 6, and growing. In Fiji, we hold an hotel investment forum every year. And there are brands that are now looking at Fiji and the Pacific to invest. And they're not only talking in terms of this one hotel, they're talking 5 properties, etc., across the Pacific. And so with the brains in this room, I'm sure there's some investment potential there. And of course, we have renewable energy. There's another major growth area, certainly for Fiji. We are looking at geothermal in Honolulu. We are looking at hydro in Honolulu. That's the other big island in Fiji. That's our next economic frontier in Fiji. It will probably, in my anticipation, be at least half, it will generate half of the GDP of this country in years to come. And that's sort of the other big opportunity in the country. What does that mean for the Pacific? Our brothers from the Kiribati have already bought land in Honolulu. I can see that they'll probably develop various things from there. So I guess in terms of co-investment, I think it's fair to say, whilst this today we are sort of taking a further step in cementing the ideas around co-investment in the Pacific, and in my prediction, you guys will actually do this, create a genuine integrated Pacific economy. in the years to come. And we're already seeing it. I see the guys from the Trust of Fiji in the room. And for those of you who don't know, they're already accepting investment from the islands in Fiji. Dividends are tax-free apparently. So these are the types of opportunities that are starting to emerge. And as far as the Fijian government is concerned, we look forward to the continued development, because we can see that if we won't only touch the big boys, we will actually reach down and also help the smaller brothers and sisters from the Pacific. Some of whom, as you know, have large sovereign wealth funds as well, which can come to good use in this endeavor. Obviously, I congratulate the PIF and the UN SDG Fund for their bold partnership to mobilize capital in the Pacific and advance the sustainable development goals. The partnership is a beacon of what is possible when vision meets action. Pension funds and provident funds are more than just financial institutions in my view. They are nation builders. When funds co-invest in climate smart solutions, renewable energy, digital infrastructure, large infrastructure, etc., they do two things at once. They deliver financial returns for the members and at the same time build the Pacific economy for the region that our members will tie into. I encourage us all in this forum to focus on practical outcomes. You have been meeting for quite some time. It's time, as they say, for the rubber to meet the road. And Fiji stands ready naturally to support investment, regional cooperation, and innovation. We are committed to creating an enabling environment where capital can thrive, partnership can flourish, and sustainable growth can be realized. Just to give you an example, at the moment, there's been discussions on starting to have dual listings between Papua New Guinea and Fiji. It's in the governor's hands for assessment. Certainly the information systems are compatible. Both the stock exchange in Fiji and Papua New Guinea have both the same system. So technologically it can be done. So once Governor gives his sign-off, that will be another step towards what we are trying to do in the Pacific. And the hope is in time we can join in all the other Pacific countries. So these are the types of things that are happening. And I'm really keen to see how you can make it work. Ultimately, as I mentioned, the owners is of the super funds, because they are definitely the nation builders. And what happens in the next few years will very much determine where the Pacific moves in the not too distant future. As you engage in this forum today, I leave you with a few challenges. Please ensure that you continue the work, this great work, in building a co-investment platform in Fiji, in the Pacific. Create a pipeline of investable opportunities across the region. I know my brothers in Tonga desperately need a 5-star or 4-star hotel in Bawau. Let's have a look at that, whether that can be done. A plan to strengthen investment skills and resources within our own funds, and most importantly, let's be bold and courageous to lead the Pacific forward. Let us remember, the investments you make today will create opportunities for our youth, so that the next generation inherits not only prosperity, but resilience and above all, financial security. The future prosperity of our region depends very much on the ability of the Pacific nations to work together, invest wisely, and create opportunities for generations to come. We need to be more regional in our thinking, because that is where we unlock the true potential of the Pacific. Like the waka that carries us across the ocean, our shared investments, grounded in collaboration, sharpened education, and realized through co-investing, will carry our nation, our regions forward towards greater financial security and prosperity. Once again, I commend the Pacific Islands Investment Forum, BHP Life, and the United Nations Joint Sustainable Development Goals Fund for convening this distinguished group of leaders and practitioners. May this forum be productive, inspiring, and informative, and may this be one of the first steps that we make to building a genuine Pacific economy. With those few words, Vinagwale will thank you. May God bless us all, and may God bless the Blue Pacific. Namaste.